Smiters, I figured something out. You remember why I was saying how the theme tune of this song, of this game, is really bad? Okay, I'm gonna read some lyrics to you quickly before we decide how evil you guys have chosen to be. The first verse is, a princess lives in a monochrome world, broken from the sight through her lonely eyes. It reflects the ocean and the stars, but her cry echoes around. It's a shit Eurovision song. It all makes sense now. It's corny. It's wide, but about as deep as a puddle in terms of meaning. The simple loss of love in her heart, making this whole fairy tale a lie. Within sorrow's tender embrace, this was never meant to happen. It's a shit Eurovision song. The light of day, the only reason you have to stay. What a terrible line. It rhymes. I must put that in because it rhymes. Hear me sing my song. And just keep holding on. Cinderella, why don't you stay with me tonight? We will dance until midnight comes, and then we could run away. We will never be apart. Set aside all your fears. This magic lives inside your heart. It's a bad Eurovision song. I can't believe it's taken me so long to realise that. It all makes sense now I'm thinking of it that way. Anyway, you guys are evil and voted for biting his hand. Because the good option isn't always the good option. Also, a few people ask me, Tenarium, why don't you have the right choice indicator turned on? I do, I just got several wrong. I'm going to feel terrible about this, but I have to try. I try to shift my head to get enough space to bite down, and even Claude cannot hold me completely still as I squirm. Eventually the hand over my mouth moves just enough for me to open my mouth, but I falter. I cannot bite the hand that I injured. Unable to do anything else, I mutely shake my head and I hear Claude groan. In one swift motion he pushes me down to the ground, pinning my hands by my head as he frowns at me. You're not even going to try and find an opening? I glare at him. I'm not going to bite your hand. Bite my hand? I didn't even think of that. We're ruthless. But you made it obvious. You put your hand over my mouth. I'd meant for you to try moving my hand. Pushing back a person's thumb usually causes their grip to loosen. How was I supposed to know that? You weren't, but you'll remember now. Experience is the best means of practice, as they say. They do. I have a complaint about that particular lesson, but I withhold it. That was a pretty good attempt, love, but not good enough, I'm afraid. I wasn't expecting you to come at me like that. I was expecting sword practice. You weren't expecting a man to kidnap you in the alleyway, were you? I glare up at him, unable to say anything, because he is right. Good, sure, the next dude who comes along will just bite his injured hand. Oh, wait. That is a unique trait to someone else. You're oddly quiet. It's hard to find an opening to hurt you when you are not really my enemy. He does not move, but continues to stare at me. His face is close to mine, close enough to... Close enough to what exactly? Devet, do you trust me enough to protect you? Yes, and I also trust you enough to use protection. That is where this is heading, right? That's not the point. I need to be able to protect myself. Because you're planning on investigating the witches on your own. No, I want to be able to protect myself because I do not want you getting hurt protecting me. It's so sad. Claude leans down and I can feel his hair at my cheek. For a few moments everything slows to a stop and all I can hear is my heartbeat and his slow breathing. Once you set your mind to something you don't let go, do you? Claude pulls away from me before I can respond and he's standing again, offering me a hand. Let's get started with some sword work then. The pleasant smile is back on his face. I can never tell what he's thinking at times like these. What are you really like? Evil, probably? Claude. I don't know actually whether it's Claude or Cloud, because I saw the K and I pronounced it Cloud. However, someone brought up that it could be like Claude, but it's spelt with a K, so I don't know. I'm sure someone can tell me. When I returned to the march-in later that night, my hands are scratched, and I think I might have bruises on my arms. Claude, bollocks! Cloud was not joking when he said he would not go easy on me, but he did compliment me more than once. David, I've hit you quite a few times and you haven't uttered a single complaint. Impressive. Crying is for the weak. Though everyone should be sleeping, I noticed that the light is still on at the tavern. I see Jurian and Garland up and at a table, speaking with each other and laughing. If Claude had come back with me, he would be happy to see this. You two are still up? They are not even surprised when they turn to face me. Go on, tell me how you're dating so I can feel vindicated. Good days like these are even better when stretched. I haven't been off duty in a long time. Did you both have a good time tonight? It was great. Garland knows these places and little places in town that I've never heard of before. Hang on. Did you go to a working class place? Damn you! I have to smite you and cleanse you so, I don't get those germs. I'm a princess after all. Are we still bad at this point? I don't know. Old us definitely would have said that. I noticed that Jurian is more energetic than usual, her smile a little wider than normal. I wonder if she's drunk. Hey, if she's drunk, then I shall vacate the room, and if I hear banging across the counter, then I shan't hear a thing. I'm going to get another drink. Oh, that's a... well, way to spell it out for us. Another drink? Garland leans in towards me, his voice hushed. We already bought a replacement bottle when we were out today. We would never take anything from the march-in without money. Right, is Jurian drunk? Oh, no, Princess, tipsy. It's like a buzz, fades a lot quicker. If you say you're tipsy, that normally means you're drunk. You're just not straight up everywhere. Falling out of windows because you're so off balance. Oh. Garland and I watch Jurian as she refills her glass at the bar. I have to thank you, Princess. I would have never have asked her out if you and Karma hadn't insisted on it. So you told her? Garland looks at me with a pleased smile. I'll take that as a yes. She didn't really realise until much later. I just asked her out for food and she thought that's all it was. Maybe Jurian really did need to be told bluntly. Maybe she is oblivious. Maybe she's just someone who needs to be told. In case she somehow takes the 0.1% that we didn't fancy her. What happened? I told her, and we talked and remembered old times. He sounds like an old man. And I held her hand. Woo! Fuck, I bet you even fucking touched her shoulder at one point, didn't you? Oh, you're so randy, fuck! I noticed Garland flinch ever so slightly, but he is smiling. He looks pleased with himself. And the night's not over yet, so he trails off with a hopeful smile before he raises his eyebrows at me. What about you and Karma? What about us? I've asked him to train me. Train? Princess, you've asked him how to teach you how to use a sword? What's this? Our princess is going to pick up a sword? Jurian returns to the table, but I'm too tired to properly join in the conversation. I should leave them to their conversation and head to bed. I need to get some rest if I want to be practicing at night. Wait, hang on a second. Was biting his hand the wrong answer? We didn't get a right choice indicator for that, did we? I'm saving in case it's not, but hang on, right, topple him. I'm waiting for the right choice indicator to show up. It appears here. Did I just miss it last time? I must have then, because it definitely wasn't there. It was there, wasn't it? I'm just being silly. Hang on, I can just press tab. Oh, it is there. It just appears behind there. Okay, fine. We'll put me there then. No wonder you guys couldn't see the right choice indicator. It's on the other side of the fucking screen. Oh. Whatever. Whoops, at least we've got that much figured out. I excuse myself and head upstairs. So we've probably made a few more right answers. You guys just haven't seen it because my webcam's over the wrong side. I am startled awake by an excruciatingly bright light. It is momentary, and when it is over, I am sitting in my bed, dazed and confused. My eyes burn. My hand flies to the pendant around my neck, where I see the second glass slipper with another piece. What did we do this time? Oh, the first one was for helping Claude out of the way. Right? So this one is for helping Jurian and Garland get together. We are the greatest. But when did I do another good deed? I grasp the necklace tightly in my hand as I make my way to the tavern. Everyone is doing something, their pre-morning chores when I get to the tavern area. I notice Karma glaring off into space, then not too far from him, the two knights. They haven't been up all night, have they? Well, do they look hungover or drunk? Because if they have been up all night, they'll be one of those things. I make my way slowly over to them. Even back then you were like some kind of shadow, weren't you? You don't have to hide it. It was obvious you were telling me back then. It was only because I was worried about you. Oh, Mr. Chivalrous over here. I've realised you really didn't have to follow me, Lan. But I'm glad you did. Lan? Jurian? Oh, shush. Fritz used to call you that too. Lan is Garland's childhood nickname. He still gets embarrassed when I call him it. Yeah, it's because it's a shit name. Lan? You're not even trying at that point. Whatever. I see, so what are you two talking about? Oh, we were just reminiscing. I look at the two of them critically for a few moments, waiting for them to say something. They both exchange a glance before looking at me, confused. Well? Well, what? How did your date go last night? Garland makes a sound and turns beet red. Jurian's eyebrows quirk, and then she laughs. Oh, that, it went well. So well, in fact, that you can see the two of us are still very much enjoying each other's company. Jurian is usually busy taking her rounds around the margin with a scowl on her face. She looks happier being here with Garland, more relaxed. We're a great person for getting these two people together. Or something. You might even say that we're dating. Isn't it funny how red he gets, Princess? I'm not sure why he's embarrassed that a girl is saying that they're dating. Do people get embarrassed over that? Shrug. This might be a confidence thing. You were blushing just as much yesterday when I... One more word, Lan, and I swear I'll punch you. Yeah. You went pretty red yesterday when I had two hands around your mop sweeping the floors. The two of them are both blushing now. The scene is oddly comical. Who knew that the two greatest knights of the Order of Caldera could be so easily undone? People do have other feelings. You know this, Princess, right? You know the old saying, Princess, just because people have money doesn't mean they can't be sad. It's sort of the same as that, really. Both of you were amusing to watch. The two of them stare at me, suddenly solemn-faced. I suddenly remember that one conversation the knights all had at the castle. They were talking about how they all had personal reasons for being knights, despite the fact they all served the king. I always thought Jurian and Garland were stoic and honourable, that their only reasons for becoming knights was a sense of justice. Seeing them here, though, without that stoic facade, they feel more like people. Yeah, funny that, isn't it? My curiosity is piqued. Do you mind if I ask what your reasons were for becoming knights? Well, I did it for the women. He's probably not going to say that. You know, it looks good when I do it quickly like that. A thinned camera actually makes it look like I have muscle. You can't tell that it's actually just, you know, massive fat, am I right? My father was a knight. He put his life on the line for the kingdom. Jurian's father was a living legend in his own right, and he had the medals to back it up. Yes, you're right. Having medals is a good substitute for legendary. My father wasn't around a lot, but I always admired him. Judging by the look on Jurian's face, it is clear to me that she really loves her father. My mother died when I was young, and... oh man, I got a random cough. But And because my father couldn't be around all the time to take care of me, I ended up practically living with Lan and his family. Lan always got annoyed when I called him my brother. Now I know why. Jurian wanted to follow in her father's footsteps. Then why did you join the Knights, Garland? Because he wanted to watch over me. I never knew you blush so easily, Garland. Yeah, you've never embarrassed him so many times, multiple times around other people. Garland seems to blush even harder at that, and Jurian's laughter becomes infectious. I feel amusement begin to bubble up as I watch the two of them, as a cold voice cuts through the laughter in the atmosphere like a hot blade through ice. Why aren't you working? I thought it was going to be the witch. Could you keep it down over there? I turn and see that Claude's eyes, normally so warm, are cold. His usual smile is gone, replaced with a deep scowl. Oh, we're sorry. He's still glaring at the two of them. Oh, I can tell him about the necklace. Karma! I got another piece to my necklace, another good deed. Cloud turns his gaze to me, but the frown doesn't disappear. That's nice, darling. His face is calm, but flat and lacks any enthusiasm. That felt lackluster. That felt... and oddly disappointing. A good deed? Congratulations, Princess. You're close to breaking your curse. What did you get the good deed for? I am not sure, actually. Well, I'm pretty sure you got the good deed for sweeping. It must be sweeping. And, you know, nearly wanting to bite Karma's hand.